We're not playing games
We're live
No, we're not
This
playing any
time.
games tonight.
with the
time.
podcast. Oh, I forgot to
And
update
there's-
my stream title.
It's been 1,000,000 years.
It has been a
Yeah,
hot
Alan.
minute,
It's been 87 years.
bro.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Yo, potato with the raid. Thank
Hey.
you.
What up,
Potato!
Mr. Potato?
Hello, potatoes. Welcome.
Hello, all of you
Nerds.
tater
That's
tots.
us.
I like how he rated right as we opened up here.
Yeah,
Really
right? Good
gentleman.
timing.
Yeah. I don't know if they're ready for this. Just talking stream.
I don't think they're ready for this jelly.
Slow, relaxed.
Yeah, it's about to be chilling. That's what she
About to
said.
be
Yeah.
chill as hell, dude.
We say that, but me and Tim will probably get in some random stupid argument over fucking some semantic of Nintendo at some point.
There's gonna be
That
some
or
getting thrown around.
or you're not gonna like what I have to say about Kazan when we get there.
Ooh,
Oh God.
whoa! Wasn't expecting
Whoa.
that.
Anyways, boys.
What have we been
Anyways, what?
playing? Yeah, you just left that open ended as fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What have we been playing? We've been playing Kazan, so I guess we're here now.
Yeah.
all right, yeah. Tell me about this game. I haven't played it, but I've seen you guys playing it a bunch lately.
Anime Dark Souls, but not Code Vein.
Correct.
It's more.
Edgelord Dark Souls.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's more. Like the character reminds me of like a Viking-esque dude. He's a big buff white guy with blonde hair. I don't remember his eye color. It might be blue eyes or whatever. But
So,
and you just go around and you just be fucking shit up. It's, you know what? It's good. Like I really enjoy the combat. I think it's made for people more like myself who would want a easier Dark Souls, because like if you lose to a boss, you don't get nothing out of it. You still get experience points kind of thing each time, so you can still kind of incrementally make your character better. So if you're just that one stat point away from beating the boss, you can still get there kind of thing. And you can still, so you have your normal like stat points, like your strength, health, blah blah blah, right? You also have weapon skill points kind of thing, so you can do both of those. And you get, and those will still accrue as you're fighting these bosses and stuff like that.
Hold on.
So
Potato said, "I love you, nerds. I have to raid and run. Busy day tomorrow. Have a great stream, and please pick on Casual Dad for me."
Oh, I will. Potato, thanks for the
Yeah,
raid, brother. We love you.
They always do.
Cody, where's your face, man?
bitch.
I don't know what the fuck I do with my camera. We haven't used it in so long.
I'm sitting here. I got
Honestly,
3 of them set up here. I've got another one on my
You
table
work
that I'm
at
not
a
using.
Computer store. You
That's
have
not-
8 computers.
That's not.
This is not the same.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Like, you have a problem.
excuses.
I have a setup.
Excuses. You have a problem. I have a setup. Listen, just because I'm always tweaking this shit.
Just because I'm always tweaking. That's what I
Just
like
'cause
to
I-
Tim say.
Just because I built a whole other PC this past week because my other PC
Yeah.
that I was using for streaming wasn't doing a good enough job.
Yeah. Man. Anyways, Kazan, it's good. They don't really waste time in between the bosses. Like there's a little bit of area between the bosses and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, it's just about fighting the bosses. I think you can go through like the compendium or whatever the fuck it's called, and
Some
there's like
lore shit.
yeah, and there's like 15 to 20 bosses somewhere in there. I don't know for sure. So like decent enough. It's taking me about an hour each boss, hour-ish, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, depending on the boss kind of thing, to figure it out. But I think Tim is killed, or he's definitely farther than me. He had struggled with one in particular, and then I think he's kind of been cruising since then. So,
I wish.
but yeah, that's. I heard you fighting some dude last night. I didn't have your stream up, so I wouldn't get. Or I had it up, but not.
I was
I
still
wasn't on the
fighting
page.
him today. So that was most of my stream today. So that's
You have to fight him as a ghost.
no, not yet.
As a ghost.
So
Yeah.
okay, I got stuck on this like is Volbino. He's like this fucking fire moose bullshit. Uses a hammer and nail, lights the world on fire. He wasn't. I actually didn't mind that fight. Okay, that one I got stuck, but I liked the fight overall. The design was good. Once you kind of learn him, it's actually a really good fight. Like most fights are that way, and I will firmly say I really enjoy, like Cody was saying, the combat. Super well designed. It's much more simplified than Dark Souls. You get 3 weapon archetypes. That's it. You don't have all your halberds and your short spears and your long spears and your great hammers and your maces and you get a dual weapon build, which is a hammer and an axe. Or no, not a hammer and an axe. Sorry, a sword and an axe. You get a great sword and you get a spear. Those are your 3. And simple. And the move sets are the same. They're kind of unified across. They give you different stat bonuses, but the combat is really good, and where you can diversify your build is in your skill tree. So you can really kind of switch it up there with different abilities that you can have. Really well designed. I like it a lot. The thing about most boss fights in the game, is it really doesn't feel like bullshit. It feels like it is, once you learn it, it's not too bad. That said, I just got done with one. I forget his fucking name. He's like the head of the bandits in this one area in the game.
This is the dude you were complaining about the stamina regen or whatever?
No, he wasn't too bad. I don't like that. I do not like that the human bosses, regen stamina and can heal some of them. That's fucking bullshit.
What is stamina? Like, what is the equivalent to in like Dark Souls or something?
Stamina. It's your stamina
to
in
like
Dark Souls.
Exhaust them or break their stance.
Oh yeah, so it's
okay.
much like Sekiro in stance breaking.
Okay.
Where
okay.
you wear their
stamina is like not the same.
No. So like for you, stamina is the same. For them, you can use it to break their stance. You can get stance broken as well, and like have be exhausted with your stamina drained all the way down. But you can break theirs by damaging them, and they have a bar that will regen just like you do as far as the stamina goes. But some bosses, the bar doesn't come back. Like creature bosses, it's like a purple bar. You deplete it, they get stance broken. You can attack them. It's fine. The human bosses, just like you, have a stamina bar that regens. I don't mind the stamina bar so much. I thought about it because at first I was like, that's bullshit. Like it's really they have much more stamina than the player. So when you almost exhaust their stamina bar, you have to damage them to completely break it. So you can get their stamina bar all the way down. They won't exhaust themselves. They have to take damage. You do too. So it's kind of on par. I don't mind that. But then today, I'm fighting the next guy, the next boss from him, and it's such fucking horseshit because he does that at a much faster pace than the last boss. But that's fine. That's okay. But then he also heals his health. Like almost all the way up. And you can interrupt it with a heavy attack, but he is much faster than you. So he'll get away from you, heal, get like back up to 4/5 of his health before you can get to him. And it sucks. What I like about the game a lot is it gives you I'm assuming that there's a third like New Game Plus that will be harder. I don't know that. I haven't got that far. Haven't spoiled anything for myself. But it gives you basically an easier mode and then the hard mode from the beginning. And the tuning is numbers, right? Like they don't have as much health. The move sets are the same, the animations are the same, they don't slow anything down. So it still requires skill, but it's not as hard to get through. I think for most people, I would recommend actually playing on the easier mode. For most people. Because I've been stuck on a couple of these bosses for an hour and a half to 3 hours of just banging my head against a fucking wall. Like ending streams after going for an hour, getting back on, going for another hour, starting the stream out there before I can progress. Like, and the thing that really is a pain in the dick to me, you know how in Dark Souls a lot of bosses have 2 phases?
Yeah.
And their 2 phases are usually not drastically different. They're tweaked, right? They might have additional moves. They might suddenly have some elemental stuff that they didn't have before. But generally speaking, the fight doesn't drastically change. It can,
it's not
but
like a different boss fight.
right. Like some of them are like the Nameless King. obviously prime example of one that is a completely different boss fight in phase 2. And it's hard to practice it because getting to phase 2 is so tough. So by the time you get there, now you're learning a whole new moveset. That's a really hard fight. He's the exception, not the rule in Dark Souls. The vast majority of at least the human bosses that I've fought, or even like Cody will know what I'm talking about when I say Viper.
Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they have
second boss is fucking wild. It's so much fun though. It's so much fun.
It is, but like they are totally different fights in phase 2 for a lot of these.
Yeah.
And for some of them, it is so hard to get there. Like the one I was stuck on today, his animations are pretty slow. He hits really hard, but his animations are pretty slow in phase 1. So after you get the timing down, not so hard. He's using dual greatswords in the first phase. In the second phase, he's suddenly a fucking katana boy. And he's fast as fuck. And he's doing like Moonveil Slash, like literally it's in a scabbard and you're hit. There's not a lot of wind up. There's not a lot of... Well, there is, but it teaches you the wrong lesson at the beginning of the fight. At the beginning of the fight, of the second phase of the fight, I should say, the second fight, because he's basically 2 bosses, he does it, and it's an unblockable attack that you have to dodge. You can't time it up, you can't brink guard it, you can't parry it, you have to dodge it. Every other time he does it in the fucking boss fight, you are supposed to block it, and it's the same light. All of a sudden he puts his sword in a scabbard, there's a light, there's a timing, you think you have to dodge it. Dodging it is so hard because it's so fast. It's like literally blink, hit. And once he moves. Like if you're not timing it perfectly, you will not dodge it. So you have to guard it. Okay, you take chaos damage or like an elemental damage when he hits you with it, but you can heal if you have potions for that. Like you can heal that. Like that's fine. What chaos does is it limits your max health. So you just, you don't take real damage, you just take chip damage and then you heal that with a potion. Whatever, that's fine. But I spent over an hour and a half of my fight. No. Yeah, I was probably stuck on him for 2.5, 3 hours. An hour and a half of that, I'm sitting there trying to dodge that shit. As soon as I figured out, I just need to fucking block it. I literally, like, I got so mad I Googled it. I don't look up boss fights. I don't look up boss strategies. I just do the thing. I teach the lesson it teaches me, and I fight it the way it's teaching me to fight it, and then I go from there. That's probably not the wisest decision for me, because I'm not a smart man. I Googled it, and fucking everybody's like, yeah, just block it. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean block it? The first time you see the tag, it's unblockable. Now I have to block it every time.
I have a question. Question. Does it have the little Japanese symbol for the brink block?
No.
When it does it?
No.
I'm interested to see when I get there.
For the counter?
I'll get there, man.
It literally, it doesn't do that. It just does like, it's a white flash. It's like in a lot of like animes or in Sekiro, some enemies, like before they attack, you get like a white like little dot on their sword or whatever that kind of flashes out, or like fucking Ghost of Tsushima, you would see it in a lot of enemies too. Like it's that same thing, but he's 0 to 60. He's so fast.
Yeah, well, that's also not in the rest of the game.
I know. That's why I'm sitting here like, this is fucking ass. Like he is.
I mean, because he's not the first boss. The second boss does go from being like he's doing a dual wield spear, right?
Yeah, so and then all of a sudden he's a heavy boy.
Speed. Yeah, and then the second half of the fight, when you get there, he's got a fucking scimitar and a fucking like dragon head in his other hand, and he's just like fucking like straight power, right?
Yeah.
Which also, I just gotta say, one really cool thing about that boss fight in particular is you get into that second part and the screen goes black after you go through his first few attacks, and the music stops. And it just does these like lightning flashes, and he's coming at you. This big ass motherfucker coming at you. Or it's super cool, like super cool. So Tim's frustrated. I got stuck on the spider that I was fighting last night. That motherfucker was pissing me off. But
I didn't have that much trouble with the spider after I figured out you break its arms, and
it took me a long time to figure that out. I kept attacking its face, and then I flicked the thumbstick one time, and I went, oh. Oh, I can attack his limbs. Like
Yeah.
I noticed I could attack like his thorax or what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the limbs were part of that, and I was like, and it still took me a little while after I figured that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sounds like a fun Souls-like.
it's
Yeah,
a really
it's-
fun
it's
Souls
good.
like, but it's really grinding on me. Like I outside of a handful of bosses, the old Iron King in Dark Souls 2, outside of like what? New audio source detect. What are you doing, Discord? What the hell?
Discord.
It's like new
Yeah.
audio source
I don't
detected.
know.
Do you want to switch? No, I don't want to fucking switch. What are you doing? Just pop
I
it up.
would say
I
it's
wanna
probably
switch too.
closer. It's probably closer to Wukong than it is like a Souls
That's
like.
Kind of what it sounded like. More
Yeah.
focused on just the boss fights.
Yeah, like because the space between the boss fights, it's really not a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not
especially
bad.
once you like you figure it out. So like in that way, it's closer to Wukong, and it's even closer to Wukong for me because I'm playing with the spear and Tim's playing with the great sword. Like I'm running around basically naked. I just have like a fucking like skirt type thing on.
Yeah,
and
I'm wearing a
nothing
heavy
on, like, the
plate
chest.
armor.
Yeah, and he's wearing all full heavy armor. Like we're complete opposites. So like, but the gameplay since I'm playing with the spear reminds me a lot of Wukong for me, kind of thing, which is fun. Like it really adds to the replayability. Like you could legitimately play through that game 3 different times to play with each of the different weapon sets to like have a good time with it that way, kind of thing. So
Yeah. No,
I don't
I think the game is good, but it could be great. And it's frustrating that there's like just little things about it that bug me. Like I said, the boss fights are good, but they're not OBS is frozen but still going on my PC. Okay, whatever.
yeah,
It literally
Which is
says
fine.
not responding. The stream's live, so whatever. If we die, we die.
If we die, we die.
but yeah, like it's there were times where I was like, I don't want to come back, and I came back out of pure fuck you, instead of me enjoying the game. I was like,
Spite.
no, I'm not fucking losing to this boss. So
Yeah.
I'm going to beat it, but at the end, I don't know if I'm like Elden Ring. Straight jumped back into New Game Plus. Dark Souls 3 straight jump back into New Game Plus. Dark Souls 2 straight jump back into every time I beat one of these games, New Game Plus is like a pleasure to play because all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're a god compared to the early game bosses, and then the late game bosses are just pure fuck you again. But this is just like every game feels like late stage Dark Souls, and I guess if there are only 15 to 20 bosses, that kind of makes sense. But oh my god. It is. Oh, the other thing I really like about it is, you know how in Dark Souls, a lot of times in the level, you'll unlock a shortcut back to the bonfire?
hmm
They do the same shit. Like, they do the exact same
Yeah.
shit. Like, all of a sudden, you're kicking down a ladder, and then you're descending down, and oh, I'm back at the bonfire, and now I can just climb back up and start back where I was. So that's. They've done a lot of really, really good things. I just wish that there was some level of I kind of wish some of these bosses were 2 bosses. I wish that it
Yeah.
wasn't a completely different boss in phase 2. Like you want to make him hit harder, move a little faster, give him some different moves. I'm all for that. I don't think as many bosses as it feels like should have a whole separate fuck you phase, but I don't know. What's up, Joe Valla? The fuck did I just stumble into? So Joe, on YouTube, well, and on Twitch, we do this every Wednesday. Well, we used to. We mostly just play video games now on Wednesdays. But yeah, we do a podcast. Our Life in Pixels. That's what the whole YouTube channel was started as, was a podcast. So
You guys want to talk about the Switch?
Yeah,
Let's
we
talk about
can
the
talk
Switch.
Nintendo now.
That's the big
I knew
thing.
that was gonna
Yeah.
be forever. I knew.
yeah,
I, knew it was
I didn't
gonna
mean
be-
for it to be
yeah.
forever.
Tim, we knew it. I told you from the jump before we get on here that
You did.
because on
You
thoughts,
did.
like we still need to talk about Nintendo.
We do. We absolutely do.
So, where do we want to start? Let's start with the good stuff before I'm like a Debbie Downer over here.
Sure.
Dude, Mario Kart World, right? Looks-
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. You can play as the cow.
Dude,
Now,
the
as one of the
cow, that was
racers?
huge, yeah.
Yeah.
So hype. Cow hype.
Dude, honestly, I'm kind of excited for it because it seems like with some of the game modes and stuff, they took yes, Sonny, we are old. Well, it seems like they took like inspiration from like Forza, right? Because it's like
that's what I thought.
Open world and stuff like that.
You can drive everywhere and explore.
Right, and then they have like that game. I guess there's like a game mode that you can do where you race from track to track, kind of thing, and whoever has the lowest placement loses, and then you just keep going until there's a winner type deal. So
yeah, I'm curious about that too, because it almost sounds like kind of a slog to do like 4 in a row without any pause or anything like that.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good, half hour to do all that, depending on the CC or whatever. I forget what the difficulty. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. Like that looked. I mean, and they started with that. They were popping from the jump. Like,
the song in the very beginning with the harmonica. That's great too.
Dude, of course
Also,
you'd be on the harmonica game.
New outfits. It looks like you can have different character customization. I think maybe for the first time in a Mario Kart game. That looks pretty cool.
They had it. They had a little bit of a character, maybe not character.
Yeah,
it was
they had like different
custom.
colors and stuff. Mario Kart 8, you could customize your vehicles really quite in depth. This one, I didn't look too closely, but it looks like there are a lot of new carts. I don't know if that customization will.
You can be a boat.
Useful.
You can be a boat now.
I'm on a boat.
A lot of different
That's
transformations.
Airplane,
boat, snowmobile.
So they got that. I mean, they got it all now. Like,
you can grind now. They've added grinding to Mario Kart. That's great.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah.
Is it
catching up to Sonic?
Like finally catches up to Sonic. I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting. It does seem like they kind of went all in on it, and since it is the launch day title, it seems like, hey, like that needs to be kind of like a home run. You know what I mean? And the preview really made it seem like it was gonna be for that demographic. We were talking about it before the stream. Mario Kart 8, or it was 8 or whatever the next jump from 8 was. I forget what it is. They sold like 67 million copies of that game, which is just an asinine number for a fucking Mario racing game, in my opinion. But dude, man, whatever sells.
Yeah.
Nintendo games sell. Yeah. Mario Kart games are a big one.
Yeah.
And that is going to be their like primary. That's like the only like first party new game for the Switch 2 on launch, I believe. Like they have some like enhanced games as well, but that's it.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of enhanced games, just real quick, Scarlet and Violet is getting a free update. Just free update.
It needs it. Got it.
Yeah,
that's like one of the only fucking ones. Like I saw they were talking about the upgrade passes, the upgrade pass, and they wouldn't say how much they were gonna cost, but they kept saying you could buy upgrade. Oh wait, what were they called? Upgrade packs.
I think that's because they're gonna be. It's much. I don't want to get into this so much, but much like the pricing that they've released so far, I think it's gonna vary. So they didn't say anything specific.
I also think it's going to be more than you want it to be. You know how on PlayStation, some of them it's $10 and some of them it's $20. I don't mind 10. 20 is a steep ask to me.
I will say this: I was listening to Austin John Plays earlier, and apparently in the UK, I'm pretty sure I heard this right. The UK version of the Direct, it stated in there that if you have the Nintendo Switch Online and like the expansion pass or something like that, you would get the upgrades for free.
Why would hang on, so I was watching the Nintendo official worldwide, not Nintendo US.
Yeah.
So why would they have a different stream than us? I don't
know. He played the audio in the YouTube video, so it's not like he was like fibbing. Like I was just like
they were saying that for some stuff. Like they were talking about.
I can find you guys the video. I can find you guys the video because I was listening. Austin John Plays is just a pure like Nintendo like YouTuber kind of thing.
Okay.
So we can look at that later. Anyway, but that goes into some of the negative stuff that I don't want to get into with like the confusion and all that kind of stuff. Let's get into that in a minute.
Positive.
Yeah, positive.
The Direct overall I thought was good. It was really fun. It was really exciting. I really enjoyed it. Just seeing the console itself was kind of cool. The way that the Joy-Cons connect. I knew it was magnetic, but reading about it, I learned that it's actually the L&R buttons on the Joy-Cons that are made of metal that magnetize to the console itself. Thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good change too, just because like I had my original Switch when I brought it out to Korea. I was like setting everything up, blah blah blah, and it like fell on accident, and my right Joy-Con like popped off, and then forever after that, it was always really fucking loose. Like I could just like barely put any pressure underneath it, and that thing would like pop, like straight up kind of thing. So I think going to the magnet route is much better. When it comes to like, the overall durability.
I remember bringing my Switch to my friends to have them play it for like a party, and immediately someone tried to like put the Joy-Con on the wrong way and got stuck, and I was just like, oh my god, why is this? Why is this even a thing that can happen? Why did they design it this way?
Yeah, so I think it is a good upgrade. I'm also hoping that they were able to fix the Joy-Con drift that they've had issues with over the years.
Yeah, it's so
they didn't
it's a big stain on the Switch, I think.
There's such an easy fix. A lot of like the handheld devices, like the Android ones that I obsess about, like my Retroid Pocket Mini or like the AYNO devices, Ioneo. They use Hall sensors in their instead of potentiometers. It's now Hall sensors, which is magnets. Much more difficult to get joystick drift. Not impossible, but it's also, once you get it, it's much easier to correct it in software than it is on a potentiometer. So I would be shocked if they're not doing Hall sensors, but I also would be shocked if they do that and not say it first, and they haven't said it. So maybe we are getting potentiometers again, which as long as they go
so much.
If they get a different manufacturer, it'll be fine.
Well, they already did switch the production for other reasons to Vietnam, and it sounds
Negative
like that
reasons.
didn't. I'm not trying to get into that, but it sounds like they didn't avoid that stuff to begin with. So I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to like the Joy-Con stick drift or whatever. But hopefully they got fixed with these newer Joy-Cons. But they're also, since they're just modernizing their whole console, they're now they reinvented Discord and put it on the Switch.
And
literally it just looks like Discord.
Yeah,
but
it looked like our video chat, but bad.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I think that's good that it's going to be integrated into the console. It's going to be hopefully very easy to use. You don't have to use the stupid phone app like you do with the Switch, which is insane.
Yeah.
Does anybody actually use the Switch phone app now, or does everybody just use Discord?
No.
Probably
I have
not.
no idea.
Yeah.
It's like if you're already on your phone, you might as well use Discord, you know?
Yeah.
I did like some of the stuff I saw where if you have like the you can hook up a camera to your Switch, right?
Yeah.
If it's a USB C. And some of the gameplay they showed of like Mario Party was kind of fun. Where it's like 4 of you sitting on the couch playing together, but then the camera captures each of your faces and puts it like on the screen when you're playing games, and it just looked fun, just like
that. I did like that, honestly. I thought that was just like a cool little touch to the whole thing. I also thought that the camera piece, if we're just talking about streaming gameplay or whatever, I think like if you get your Elgato set up and whatnot, you can just set all that up and probably just stream that directly, and you don't have to mess with really anything else. You know what I mean? If you just want a simplified stream kind of thing, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's USB-C, you can probably get a third-party option here in like 6 months or something that'll be cheaper than whatever the official Nintendo one is, kind of thing. So
yeah, that was one thing that we didn't hear anything about is are you going to be able to stream to streaming platforms straight from the device?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem likely, but
No.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see on that.
Only thing that had me worried about that, like everything looked great. Like, don't get me wrong, the fact that we've been asking for voice chat on Switch for fucking years. So thank God, because there's no reason they couldn't have at least had voice chat at launch. Cool. They're fixing that. That's great. I do think, however, that I don't know if it's issue they can fix in software, where maybe you just lower the resolution of the game casting, like the actual streaming, because you're going to be looking at a 7.9 inch screen anyway. You don't need a super high res for that if you're watching somebody else's gameplay through their app. But it got real choppy on Mario Kart on some of those. Like it was really
Yeah, I know what you're
bad.
saying.
Yeah.
Where you like see the 4 people on the bottom and you can see their gameplay, and it was
Mhm.
like 5 frames per second. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how this is one of those things where they show it in their presentation, and it's like, how could you let this be part of your presentation when it looks so bad?
Like on the
Yeah.
one hand, I appreciate they're not hiding it, because that's also always bullshit when you see a company hide, like they make it look like it works fine and then you get your hands on it and it works like ass. I'd rather know it's ass to begin with.
Right.
But yeah, fix it. Like just make that a fucking 480p stream on that little thing and it's going to look the same as that little window. You just lower the res or do your AI upscaling bullshit you're doing with everything else, allegedly. So like,
Yeah, they haven't confirmed that yet. So
yeah, they didn't talk about
but
that
we're
at all.
assuming.
Yeah, we are
Mhm.
assuming. I mean, the thing that
They
I'm
talked about
most
the
excited
resolution,
about,
but not
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
they're gonna achieve it.
yeah, 1080p at 100. Well, okay, 120 hertz screen doesn't mean that the games are going to run at 120 hertz. Like right now, ROG Ally and Lenovo Legion Go have 120 hertz screens, and
Well, they said that Metroid Prime in performance mode would run at 120 FPS.
yeah, for
Mhm.
most of the games and with the amount, I'm really happy with the amount of third-party support that is already announced,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
that was a huge problem for the first year of the
Holy
Nintendo
shit.
Switch, was just nothing. So to see they have that much third-party games coming this year and next year, that's amazing. How many of those are actually going to run at 60? Like I would have settled for a 60 hertz screen if we have consistent 60 FPS performance. If you could have put that extra bit into the processor or into something else that will make performance better. That said, if we're getting above 60, if you're getting close to that 120, cool, it's going to feel great. So I'm kind of torn on that, but I am excited for the hardware, and I wasn't expecting to be, because you guys have heard me say it a million times. If I have something available anywhere other than my Nintendo Switch, I don't fucking touch my Switch. I don't like my Switch.
Yeah.
I don't like how laggy the eShop is. I don't like that there's no voice chat.
Well, I don't think the eShop thing is getting fixed because there's
It's-
no UI
God,
updates.
don't say that. Oh,
Well,
God,
okay.
don't
There's
say
been no
that.
Okay.
UI updates.
But the issue on the OG Switch isn't the UI. Like, yeah, the UI is not great, but that's not even my complaint. My complaint
No,
is
I
how
know,
long
I
it
know.
takes to load anything. Theoretically, faster CPU fix that problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Theoretically,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
we'll see.
so
I'm glad that
I'm
it's
curious.
it's going to be HDR. I think that's cool because like I have an
Yeah.
HDR monitor and I absolutely love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I'm just like imagining playing Tears of the Kingdom up at 4K on my TV, just
Mhm.
like
Yeah, it's so I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I was disappointed when they said LCD. I was like, God damn it.
yeah.
as long
and
as it's an
I was like-
IPS, it'll be fine. Like, you won't really.
Well, I want an OLED screen, and we all know it's gonna happen in 2 years.
They'll
They're
have
gonna
that
turn
edition.
around and they're gonna have the OLED edition
for an extra
Like,
$50.
or whatever it is at that point, right? You know what I mean? And it's just like fuck. So I wanted an OLED out the gate, but I can dock it, and with the HDR support, I can still play it on my OLED TV, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. I was hoping for that. I wasn't surprised. I actually kind of was surprised when they were like, "Yeah, we support 4K," because
Me too.
I don't think that's a requirement for main handheld. Like, it's mainly a handheld. Secondarily, it's a docked console for a lot of people.
Yeah, but if you're docking
yeah,
it,
I'd say the majority, yeah.
in 2025, if you're docking something to your TV's a 4K TV. How many people still have?
In general, and not everybody's docking it to TV. Some people are docking it to gaming monitors or just their hardware
Yeah.
setup. You know what I mean? Like, and as we saw, Justin shared the Steam charts the other day. 1080p still the fucking king for whatever
Yeah.
goddamn
Oh,
reason.
people
So-
don't. So I work with a shit ton of nerds, and they don't believe me when I'm like, They're like, why would you ever buy a 1080p monitor? I go, most people are still playing at 1080p. They go, what?
Yeah.
1440p or 4K? Like, you don't go any lower than that. I go, most people are still playing at
Yes.
1080p. They go,
Exactly.
show me. I don't know anybody playing on a 1080p screen. I go, that's because you work here. You're a massive nerd. Your friends are all massive nerds. Here's the Steam charts.
exactly.
Like, I'm like 53% of the market is still at 1080p, which is down
Yeah.
from 60 a few years ago. It's getting
Right.
chipped away at, but it's still over half. They're like, well,
Yeah.
laptops. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You're gaming on a laptop. You're gaming, aren't you?
Yeah.
It counts.
It
Yeah.
counts.
So I was kind of surprised at the 4K. Like, I didn't think that was a requirement at this point because Nintendo's like their big thing is this, like, what's the best way to have fun and minimum levels of, you know, barriers to entry and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't think it was a requirement. I'm happy that it is 4K capable though, and that a lot of these games, all of these games, actually sound like they're going to run at 60 FPS at 4K, which with whatever AI upscaling that requires or whatever, right? But yeah,
Sure.
yeah, like because most even the Steam Deck, or not the Steam Deck, but the PS5 and current Xbox have issues running 4K 60. So you know, but I mean,
Yeah,
at least
promising.
at least they're modernized at this point. You know what I mean? To the point where I can play my Pokemon. I can go to that lake in Scarlet and Violet, and it's not gonna drop to fucking 8 FPS. You know what I mean? Like that's all I want, man.
We
I'm not
hope.
asking for a lot. No, I don't think this is a we hope thing. I think this is a concentrated effort by Nintendo to fix these issues that came with Nintendo One that they kept getting shit on. I mean, did you see the Hyrule Warriors, the new one? All
Yeah.
those characters on screen, all that stuff. And if you go and
Dude.
compare it to the original Hyrule Warriors that ran at 10 FPS, it looks great. It
My
looked great.
my worry isn't the hardware being capable of doing it, because that was a big worry on Switch One. Honestly, like
Right,
the Switch
right.
One is, like I said, your smartphone's been more powerful than your Switch One in since 2018.
Right.
Switch came
Right.
out in 2016. That's a big problem. But with Pokemon specifically, how much of that is Game Freak not optimizing? Because goddamn, those games are fucking awful, even compared to, like, you play
No, yeah,
much
they're
more
ugly as
demanding
fuck.
titles.
Yeah.
And the hardware is a problem. You look at Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat
Right.
11 or anything that is
Right.
a third party game on base model Switch, it's rough. But like Pokemon was, and it didn't look that good either. It's not like it was super demanding
So
textures.
So here's the thing. Legends Arceus ran smooth,
Yeah, it did.
right? It was Scarlet and Violet that didn't run smooth. Let's Go was the last game that looked like a fucking video game, like a modern video game.
How it should,
And
yeah.
and ran well, right? I'm pretty sure it's a
Yeah.
locked 30 or whatever, but it runs great. It was Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet that had issues, and it's when they went to that open world type stuff that it seems like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
Hopefully, after the
absolutely.
third game in the series, or fourth shot at it in like different ways or whatever, hopefully now they'll be able to. Now that the hardware is updated, they can kind of figure it out from there, kind of deal. Because like I said, the Let's Go games look great. They could do that, honestly. Just redo that art and just make it open world, and I think everybody would be fucking happy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be over the shoulder third person. It can be top down. You know what I mean? Like, I think people would live with that. But
Yeah, I think the main thing is the Pokemon company doesn't care that much because they get most of their money from other shit and not the video
from merchant,
games.
yeah,
Which is
they only
crazy.
get 10% of the revenue from the
Yeah.
game.
It's weird to
So-
think about, right? Because like for
Yeah.
me, games are like the first thing when I think about when it comes
Right.
to Pokemon, but they're really
Right.
not the highest thing on their.
That's because we're
priority.
30 something, Justin.
I
know.
I thought it was funny. Did you guys notice the GPS thing?
Oh my god, yes. The upgraded version of Zelda, they have a with the Nintendo Switch app on your phone,
Yep.
you can set up a little like it's like a second screen device. Like they have
Yeah.
the same thing in Metal Gear Solid 5. Where you can have it navigate to shit for you, and you just like see them tap on it, and then you just hear the voice like head north. And,
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
What the
I kinda
fuck?
love
Turn
that.
left
It's so
here.
I
stupid.
didn't notice that, honestly. I noticed when
very
they were
funny.
talking about the Zelda, like you can share like you can use QR codes to share like builds and stuff or whatever, which I
that
think
was
is very
kinda
cool.
too.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff that came out in this.
It's funny
And
because
speaking,
Cody in particular is like Pokemon has to run
Yeah.
really well for me to want to play it. For me, it's like Zelda. I had a hard time getting into Zelda because the Switch felt like it was holding it back.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to play it on Switch too.
it looks
Yeah.
really good with the upgrade, but that upgrade
Yeah,
I think you're
dude.
gonna have to pay for, and I think it's gonna be a $20 one. So
yeah. I guess we'll
I
see.
really
I've
do.
seen $10 and $20 floated around.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what it all includes and where it lands. But yeah, as much as I loved playing like Breath of the Wild, there were times where the game just started being choppy, and I'm like,
no,
this is a AAA title from Nintendo? Come on.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And Breath of the Wild is what, 7 years old now, something like that.
It was the last Wii U game and the first Switch game. So
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
Wii U title is what 2015?
No, because I'm pretty sure the Switch came out in
It'd be
2016.
2016. The Switch was 2017. Yeah.
Was it 2017? Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, 2016. So
Same
yeah,
year,
like
same year Nora was born.
because I think it came
So-
out like late 2016 then on Wii U, and then it was the first game on Switch because I think there was a couple of months there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. They also had
Pretty old
ARMS
now.
and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
those fucking wonky games, like the fucking like the new game that they got, the goddamn
Oh.
disabled
what is it
basketball
called?
game.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking. Yeah,
That's what they were using for mouse
support.
support. Like they're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
support mice now. Here's a basketball game where you're in a wheelchair. I'm like, why is
Yeah,
that?
You're, supposed
You're
to
not going to
use
show me a
both
shooter.
Joy-Cons.
Like
Yeah,
you're not
you're supposed to
going
use both
What,
Joy-Cons to
what
do the
shooter would
wheels?
use two mice to play though? That doesn't make any sense.
No, but like, okay, you're not wrong.
That's what they were showcasing. Is
But, like,
using
also-
both of the Joy Cons in mouse mode, and so like rolling the wheels.
That's
Sense. Just,
weird.
It wasn't on my bingo card at all.
I don't think I was on anybody's bingo card. I told you,
No.
my wife said. Like,
Yeah, that was very.
That was funny. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's cool that you can make these dual mouse mode games, but you're not selling me on them so far.
You know
I
what?
don't know that will be more than just a gimmick.
So I think it'll be, my coworker likes to play a game, and it's like a drawing game, and I think that will be the type of games that you'll see or people like drawn to when it comes to
Definitely.
Or like
using
Civ.
both at the same time or whatever. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know about both at the same time, but I think using a single one, I see the use case for first person shooter games. Obviously, we saw like the little like golf putt putt thing that was kind of
Yeah.
cute. Obviously, mini games in like Mario Party or like WarioWare, Rhythm Heaven, that kind of
Yeah.
shit would be cool.
Yeah.
I will say it looks super uncomfortable. I don't.
Yes.
Ergonomically,
What do
it
you
looks
actually?
awful.
Are you sitting at a table when you're playing?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can
Because
use
I'm
it
sitting
your
on a
leg.
couch with nothing in front of me when I play video
Right.
games usually.
I
It's
think
like, I guess I'll get my TV tray and pull it up and
it would make
Yeah.
sense if you're like me who has their consoles at their desk. Like I got my PS5 here, my Xbox here, right? Like I have the dock for my Switch, which is dusty as fuck. I just realized it's gross looking. I need to probably clean that. Anyway, we're gonna move past that. That's all. That tells you how long it's been since I've docked my Switch.
Could have
over here.
not said that. Nobody.
I
would've
just
known.
noticed it, and it's gross. That's like the glasses thing. Am I wearing two glasses? Anyway, but the possibilities for mouse mode are kind of endless because I mean, if you look at if the hardware is as good as we hope it is, as far as like what it'll run, and you see what's already announced for third party support. Like there were rumors about
Yeah.
what was going to be announced today, like maybe Doom Eternal
Microsoft
getting
in
a
general?
report. Microsoft in general. Microsoft,
yeah.
Xbox nowhere at this, and there was rumors that they were going to be here in force. So I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
no Oblivion remake announcement, which was supposedly going to happen here. No Halo coming to Switch, which supposedly
No Sea of
MCC.
I just-
No Sea of
just-
Thieves, which that's crazy. Like that would be a great Switch game, especially with the game chat stuff.
I just gotta say, the Oblivion remake thing has been rumored at every major announcement thing for like the past 6 months.
Well, what I
Until it
think is
happens, I don't care.
what I think is funny
Until it
is
shows up, it's not. Who the fuck cares?
it's
Like,
that, and it's the Fallout remake now. It's like they alternate. Oh,
Yeah.
Fallout 3 remake's getting announced. Fallout 3. Oh,
Yeah.
now it's Oblivion.
Yeah.
Oh, Fallout 3, Oblivion. Like what?
Dude,
just pick
it's
one.
just like fucking. There's no rush on it. Like really,
No.
Xbox has plenty of games coming out. Like who the fuck cares? Like it'll get here when it gets here. But every time we're in one of these major announcement things, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
Oblivion,
Yeah.
Fallout. And it's just like, what?
It's
the fuck,
not
man?
there.
Like,
Yeah.
Nostalgia, dude.
But like
Yeah.
the third party support that we've seen already, like okay, Elden Ring,
Yeah,
Hades,
bro.
Hades
Elden
2.
Ring,
Oh, go
the
ahead.
Elden Ring reveal, the Elden Ring, what do they call it? Tarnished edition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a frame where I swear to God, they show a character in like this armor that we've never seen in a location we've never seen. I wonder if we're gonna get a little something special with this Tarnished edition.
Could be.
Like
could
an
be.
extra quest or something like that.
Yeah, or like an extra
nice.
area, something. I don't know.
Right.
Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Daemon X Machina sequel, which fire. Mecha game,
dude,
let's
that's
go.
sweet.
Split Fiction 2 is coming this week. That's huge.
Day one.
Yeah,
That's day
Um,
one.
one.
Madden, some more gambling. 2K games, some more gambling. Hogwarts Legacy, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake.
Yeah.
Hitman, World of Assassination, and the new James Bond game from IO Interactive will be on
Yeah.
Switch 2 on launch. So that's
Exciting to hear.
sweet. Yakuza 0, which a Yakuza game on Switch. The family-friendly console is getting Yakuza. I just want to say
Yeah.
that's the imprisoning. What do they call it? The imprisoning something? I called it imprisoning war in the group chat. It was something else.
I think that's what it's the subtitle for the Hyrule Warriors game.
Yeah, something like that. Deltarune sequel or more chapters for Deltarune. Borderlands 4 will be on Switch 2 on launch. Like
Yeah.
it's
The
crazy.
ones that really
Cyberpunk.
stood out to me were Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming in.
That's
That's
huge.
pretty big to me. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, I don't think any of us have played these games or care about them, but everyone else is so excited. Silk Song, finally announced.
Hollow Knight's
finally
great.
coming out.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, well,
I was
here's the
pissed
thing,
that
it's
was
been
just like a
announced
little
before.
snippet. It's been announced, but like they I think did they put a date
There's been
on
like
it?
no information on it forever.
Yeah, but they
Like-
it's been one of those games where it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna come out this year, and then it doesn't come out.
Well,
It's in
and, like,
2025.
I think
So
Xbox
I don't care.
Xbox is helping. I don't know if they're helping fund it or what's going on with it, but Xbox is
Something like
partnering
that.
with them on something where it'll be. I don't know if it'll
Yeah.
be day one Game Pass or not, but like, so every Xbox event, they're like they're going to announce a date, and then it doesn't happen. And it's again
Yeah.
same thing we were talking about with Oblivion.
Yeah.
Like Xbox just out here edging everyone on for no reason.
I think Hollow Knight, if there was a hard date for this year, it wouldn't have been part of the sizzle reel. It wouldn't have been like a
Yeah.
3-second snippet of the fucking game. It would have had its own spot, like
Yeah.
Elden Ring and those other games did or whatever. So
Yeah, I think one of the underrated things though is GameCube.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the virtual console announcement for the GameCube coming to
Wind
the
Waker?
Nintendo Switch 2. Wind Waker is gonna be on there right away.
Pokemon.
Very excited. People have been wondering about the GameCube VC, and
Yeah.
it looks like it's gonna be great.
yeah, still don't have
Wind
Red
Waker,
and
Soul
original Red.
Calibur.
Yeah, Soul Calibur with Link, the original.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know
Oh
what I mean?
my
Yeah,
god.
And then they got Pokemon, Coliseum, and what
Yep.
Gale of
Gale
Darkness.
of Darkness.
Which
Yeah.
Gale? I don't know
Yeah,
if you
that'll
guys
be
know
cool.
this, but it's
Is
on
that
the
the,
resale.
Team the weird Team Rocket one.
I didn't
Very
play it.
encrypting Pokemon?
Honestly, when I started collecting like some of the older games, I came across one of those. Dude, that thing was like $250.
Dude, that's actually
for,
something
like,
that
and it
Andrew
wasn't
pointed
even
out.
complete in box. Like, so that's like a huge, like, for Pokemon fans, it's like a huge one.
Well, now
Because
you
that's
won't
the
have
only
to
way to
resort to
play.
emulation. Sorry.
Right.
The same thing with Fire Emblem. They showed Path of Radiance on there. That game
Yeah.
is incredibly expensive to pick up physically, but
Yeah.
now
Right.
we're just going to be able to play it. So, like,
Right.
thank you. That's great.
The
Yeah,
only thing that
yeah.
bugged me in this is a me problem. This is not because nobody else. I highly doubt there's many people that are still playing Soul Calibur 2 frequently. I
Yeah,
do.
probably not.
I even still play it on Xbox because I have
Fucking
the
weirdo.
HD edition of that was released on the Xbox 360 marketplace. Like Like,
Was it Spawn on the Xbox as the
Yes.
special character?
Yes.
Yeah.
but that was like, so I still play Soul Calibur 2 on Xbox, and it's the HD version. So like, yeah, it's cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Soul Calibur on Switch. I kind of wish they would at least just make it like upres it. Like I get it. They're basically they're emulating the GameCube version. They want it to be true to the GameCube version. That's cool. I'll play it on Xbox more probably, but it's cool that it's there. Like, because not everybody, you can't buy that game now. You can't. It's not available digitally. It's not available physically. So I am very much in the minority on that fucking game. Nobody else is gonna buy it. But that was
I know a lot of
pop in my head.
I know some people are disappointed that Wind Waker is not an HD remake too. So I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
You know what I mean?
But they want to sell that, so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Maybe one day, probably not anytime soon. Now that they're putting it on the virtual console, but
Mhm.
yeah.
What do you guys think about the default 256 gigs of storage on the Switch too?
I hated the fact they tried to market it as 4 times more as the original Switch.
Eight.
Like the original Switch
8
was
times.
whatever the fuck it was.
Jesus,
They were like, it's
fucking
so much
baby
more than the
size.
original Switch. It's like you didn't. That's because there was nothing on the original Switch. Like I was like, that's some bullshit, this marketing nonsense. I was
Yeah.
frustrated at that, but is 256 enough for you to get by until you can get a sale on a micro SD Express card? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because I mean, you know, with the first Switch, obviously, the games were smaller in size than something you'd have on other consoles.
Right.
But you know, also at like very reduced quality. So curious to see. That's like you could fit like Fortnite and one other game on there probably.
Yeah, don't put. Yeah, it would just be a Fortnite machine at 256 if you put Fortnite on there. But if you're using it as just to play like you want to, like you're trying to play all like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Pokemon and all that stuff, all that
stuff,
all that
You'd be
shit's
able
gonna
to fit a
fucking
bunch
fit
on
on
there.
there. Like it'll fit on there just fine. It's a step in the right direction. I don't remember. I think it's still less than the Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, you can get a 512, but you can also get a 256. 256 is cheaper.
Okay. Yeah.
Most handheld PCs, you either get 512 or a terabyte.
Fucking Steam Deck has a 64 gigabyte option too.
Yeah, it does. Oh, I
The-
forgot.
the-
You have
the
the 64
big-
gig, and it's
Yeah, you have
eMCC.
64, 256, and 512.
Mm.
And then they had like that special edition. I think that was a terabyte or something. I don't remember. I can't remember
Yeah.
how much I have in mine.
I've got 512 on mine, but I popped a 1 terabyte SD card in there. The one thing that I think is kind of weird is they specifically said you can't use an old SD card. You have to use SD Express, which is a new standard. And frankly, I don't see why that would be the case, because SD cards are a standard SD card, as long as it's like a U3 or an A1, they're fast enough. Like that's what I use on my Steam Deck. I don't have issues loading most games on any game off my SD card on my Steam Deck. Cyberpunk loads off my SD card on my Steam Deck. There's no problem.
Right.
Like it's fine. So I don't know if that's a actual technical limitation or if it's just they partnered with SanDisk, because SanDisk is who makes the Nintendo Switch cards.
Yeah.
And this is SanDisk is the one that's really driving SD Express. I don't know if it's their tech or if it's just they're the first ones that are really putting a lot of SD cards out there that have this new tech.
Yeah.
So it seems like just
without really knowing,
marketing.
I just assumed it was basically like a jump from like HDD to solid state.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's still flash media. Like honestly, an SD card's not that much slower than a SATA SSD. Like it's fine. Actually, so a lot of times they're faster because you can get SD cards that are I think 10 to 15 gig per second, and SATA is 5 gig. So
yeah,
Mhm.
local hardware computer nerd right there for you.
Yeah.
That knows that off the top of his fucking head.
sorry.
Well, we're still talking about the good things. Should we talk about the new From Software game?
Yeah, Tim made that TikTok you made, bud, was fucking fantastic.
Thank
the
you.
Basculus thing.
goodness.
Why does
That
it
is
have
so
tits?
funny.
Like,
Why does it have titties? I don't
It's
understand.
Why?
Dude,
Like-
I was dying. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even notice that.
That was
So
honestly,
good.
that was one take. I sat there.
Yeah.
I was like, "Here's my thoughts." I cut it down. I took the music from the trailer, threw it in there, took a little bit of gameplay snippets. That was it. It took me like 15 minutes
Yeah.
to put that shit in there. But like, yeah, that was funny
I
as
just do that in
fuck.
chat if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah,
very
it
goofy,
it's
very
it
silly.
looks the game looks great though. And what I heard after the fact, and I don't know if this is factual, is that it's going to be more like Night Rain, in that it'll be kind of but it's also going to be PvPvE, so it's going to be maybe your more
Yeah.
battle royale style that people were like, hey, kind of might be cool to have a PvP version of Night Rain. Well, here it is, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive, and there's guns and basilisks with tits because fucking reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
Go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
I'll go. That really made me less excited. At first, I was like, "Holy shit, we're getting a sequel to Bloodborne by some
Yeah.
other name." And then I heard, and you kind of see how it looks very actiony in the movement. Like characters are like leaping around and shit. I was like, well, I'm still excited for it to be a From Software title. Made for the Switch. Maybe it's them just kind of like getting their feet wet, developing on the Switch. But definitely lost some interest, thinking that it's going to be like Night Rain.
It's
Yeah.
probably the reason that I want to pick up a Switch. If I'm being honest,
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be a pure exclusive. I bet you it's a timed exclusive. I do
Could
not
be.
believe that they secured a From Software game to be a pure exclusive for the Switch. Sony would throw so much money at From Software just to make sure that would not happen.
would they?
They would, yes.
I
Because
don't know that
because
the
From
last-
Software and Sony are like synonymous at this point.
The last Sony exclusive for them was Bloodborne, and people have wanted a
Yeah.
Bloodborne 2 or a Bloodborne remaster or a
Right.
fucking full-on remake for years, because Bloodborne runs at 30 FPS even on PS5, because that is how the game was. The
Right.
limitations of the PS4, that's what they had to do to make it work. So the fact that you say Sony would throw all this money at them, there is a buttload of money sitting there. Bloodborne is there. They're making a Bloodborne ass game, and it's on Switch. I don't know that Sony would, because they didn't work with them on Demon Souls, because Sony owns Demon Souls, not FromSoft. FromSoft owns Bloodborne. Sony has had the publishing rights. So
Right.
I don't know that they will, because it's like
I just I just don't. Nintendo has such a strong first party lineup. I don't think that they would be willing to spend all that extra money to have a third party exclusive. You know what I mean? They don't need a third party exclusive to sell their hardware. They have the biggest gaming or the biggest franchise on the fucking planet that has a new game coming out this year. They got the Mario Party. Like I have a. It's just, it makes more sense to me that this is a timed exclusive, probably 6 months.
I
something
hope
like
it
that.
is.
And then holiday, because it comes out in June or whatever. So you know what I mean. So it'd be like the Switch comes out in June. We'll say the Dusk's Blood or whatever. I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
Comes
the
out
Dusk
next.
Blood.
Yeah, the
June.
Dusk Bloods,
Yeah.
yep.
It comes out next June, like a year from now, right? And then it's 6 months exclusive window. Comes out for holiday for everybody else, and then they all rake in a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Like that just makes more sense to me than FromSoft, especially these days. I mean, so many games are going. You know, we've talked about breaking down the walled gardens and all that kind of stuff. So many games are going to multiple platforms because they cost so much to make. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. So I don't know.
You guys know my stance on exclusives at this point. I think exclusives are
Right.
bad for the industry, period. I think that you sell your games on more platforms if you want to make money, and the Sony is finally slowly warming up to that idea. Xbox has fully embraced that idea. Thank fucking Christ, because otherwise
They're
Xbox would be a
Sega.
completely
Xbox
dead
is
brand.
Sega.
Well, if they didn't go that route, they'd be a completely dead brand. So I'm kind of happy that they're at least doing that. So because like you said, Sega almost died after they stopped making hardware. They were almost gone from existence. What kept them going was Creative Assembly for a minute there, and then Yakuza and some of the other stuff. So Yeah, it's anyway. Like I hope you're right that it is a timed exclusive, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. Like we'll find out when we get closer to launch, or when Miyazaki, or maybe at the Xbox showcase in June when they show something. Who knows? But like,
yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting, but yeah. To get back to the original question, I am not really excited for this game at all. Tim, I loved your funny TikTok, YouTube short, or whatever. I'm not interested in a Souls like that's PvPvE. Like, zero interest. Like,
by that logic, do you not have fun when we play Elden Ring and run around and get invaded?
I like to watch you guys get invaded, but I'm
but
not.
When is the three of us?
Do we do that? You know,
right?
we haven't done that for a long time.
Like,
it's been a while.
Not excited for Night Rain. Like, I'm not really. Kind of funny games was talking about this earlier. They were like, "Oh, don't we want people to innovate the multiplayer space?" I don't feel like this is innovating the multiplayer space. There are plenty of PvPvE games out there. Maybe not with Souls-like combat, but like, that's not going to be a complete innovation on the entire multiplayer space. You know what I mean?
Innovating the multiplayer space of From Software, I guess. But.
Right. Like, I don't like this direction from Software, that they're having two games back to back that are coming out that are multiplayer focused. That's not what I look at FromSoft for. Like, that's not the kind of game. Not saying that they can't make different games.
Yeah.
But like, until they prove that it's good, I'm skeptical. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because they could just as easily fall on their face. I will give them this though. They're the only other studio that I feel like that is pumped out games at a decent rate that are good, much like Obsidian. Obsidian's pumped out like 4 or 5 games in the past couple of years that have all, in general, been average to above average. And the From Software games are even better, and they're pumping them out at like basically the same rate. When you talk about Elden Ring DLC, Armored Core 6, and now you got Night Rain, and now you got the Dustbloods. Like, it's like they're on a really crazy clip.
Yeah.
For putting out good content. So like, good on them.
Well, we'll see. Night Rain and Dustbloods to be determined whether or not it winds up being good content, but it's certainly they are putting out stuff at quite, like you said, quite a clip.
Right.
I'm curious to see where that goes from here. And like, is Miyazaki burning himself out? Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't realize he's not the director on Night Rain. He is the director on Duskbloods. He was the director on AC6. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. Yeah, like, I mean, you know, I don't know. I hope
we've seen him in interviews talking about how he's trying to give everyone in the company time to like try new things and like step into different roles. So maybe he's already getting ready to kind of step back from such an active position.
Yeah.
Dustbloods could be his last game.
It's really interesting that like in the last year he said stuff like, I don't think we're doing another Dark Souls anytime soon. No, we're not doing an Elden Ring sequel anytime soon. And then Night Rain happens. So I guess technically not a sequel, it's a spin-off, but all right, cool. Technicalities. I don't know what the next big FromSoft mainline entry will be. Like, you would think there's going to be more Elden Ring content coming. Like, you think there's going to be another DLC at least, right? Because
they already say there's no more Elden Ring DLC, that they're done?
No, they didn't say that they're done. They said anytime soon. They said they didn't rule it out, but they said that they're not working on that now. And then they announced Night Rain, which that was like 2 weeks apart. Like, somebody at the company was like, we're not ruling it out, but we're not working on any more Elden Ring stuff right now. We're not doing any content. We're not doing any DLC or a sequel or anything like that. Here's a spinoff. Technically, he didn't lie. He didn't say no spinoffs. But like, it makes me curious because I know Armored Core has always been like a passion for Miyazaki. Like, that was what he really wanted to work on for a while, and then it became Dark Souls, right? So what's the next mainline release? Are they going to bring back Tenchu?
I would love that.
Nice. Yeah,
I think we would all love that.
Of things I would love. A Tenchu game or another swing at like the first person fantasy game.
We've gotten way far away from Nintendo though.
Oh yeah,
with
we did.
Let's bring it
speculation.
back. Let's bring it
Yeah, let's bring it back. Okay, we talked about a lot of good things we like about Nintendo. Time to talk about the bad stuff. This isn't necessarily bad. This falls into the meh category. The console price is going to be $450, which is $50 higher than what a lot of the speculation was. I think, not to go into it, we all know why. If you've paid attention to anything that's going on in America right now, you understand why it is $50 higher than what everybody was reporting.
I'm not gonna rant about him.
Yeah, I do think that's probably would have been the limit for me overall. Was $450 to get it. I mean, I'm debating the $500 at this point just because
you got pissed when I said 400. You were like, it better fucking not be.
But I heard about what was going on in America.
Yeah,
and I had to figure out my expectations a little bit once I started paying attention to all that. So,
2025 has given a very different tone to the song. You know, America. Fuck. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
basically.
Oh, can we get that
very
right,
different,
please?
man.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
But yeah, so that console's gonna be $450. I think that's probably fair, especially with all the stuff that they showed today. Like, I'm not really upset at that.
Still cheaper than equivalent
cool
with handheld gaming
it.
PC.
Yeah. How does it stack up against the other consoles?
I mean, it's still cheaper than all of them, other than the Series S. If you're talking about consoles.
Series X is usually not 500. I know it's listed. Its MSRP is 500. Almost every time I see one, it's $449.99. It's always on sale. Probably because they can't sell it for sure.
We all know. Yeah. We all know why that is.
And that's really disappointing because the hardware is really good. Like, honestly, like, whatever. It's fine. So I think, given that it's a 2-in-1 system, right? It's a portable, handheld, and a home console.
Undockable. Yeah.
Given that it's giving you access to now a lot more, hopefully really well running. Like, I'm curious to see what happens with Mortal Kombat 1 if that's going to have an upgrade. A lot better running third-party titles, and it gives you, your Pokemons and your Zeldas and your Marios, your Nintendo games, right? I think
strong first-party lineup.
I think 450 is a fair asking point in 2025. It's higher than we want it to be, but that's because reasons. So I think 450 is not bad. It does put it in that territory of, for some people, I think most people don't even know what the fuck a Steam Deck is. To be honest with you, like, there's 5 million Steam Decks have been sold.
Well, yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Brick and mortar like options. And stuff
it's
like
a
that,
lot,
so.
but it's also, your average run of the mill person doesn't know what a Steam Deck is. They have no fucking idea. You say, "Oh, Valve makes this thing called a Steam Deck." They go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Or why are we talking about pipes and shit? Like, what do you do? Are you a plumber? Like, I don't understand. But if you say Nintendo Switch, everybody knows what a fucking Nintendo Switch is.
Yeah.
Like, that's synonymous with gaming. So, like, your grandma knows what a Nintendo is.
Right.
Like, it's fine. So I think 450, it'll sell. I think for people like us, it puts it right up against, okay, Asus has an Xbox branded handheld coming out at the end of this year. It's going to be $500. I was looking at replacing my Steam Deck and my laptop with a Windows handheld gaming PC already. Do I buy a Switch 2, or do I wait for the ROG Xbox, whatever it winds up being, right? The X-Boy Advance. Do I get that, or do I get this?
Well, that's got more function to it, because, I mean, the Switch is just going to be for video games. That's nothing more.
And it also
but I'm
depends on what
the
you wanna
minority.
play.
Right, like most people are not going to have that debate. For people like me and maybe you guys and maybe some of our viewers, it'll be like, do I get this, or do I get a handheld PC? Because a handheld PC I already got my Steam library on it, can emulate Switch games. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. And can play whatever the hell you want. But the Switch, you're locked down to what third party comes to Switch. Does Xbox put stuff on Switch? Yeah, probably, but when? So I'm
Yeah.
interested. Though.
Yeah.
$450 is a good price for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy one. I've already gone online onto Nintendo and
Oh, you
then,
did your
like
interest?
pre-register my interest. Yeah,
Yeah, I need to do it.
and I've got
I
Nintendo
am-
Switch Online, so I've got the preference.
Right. I am gonna try and get mine through GameStop because the one thing that I really miss from the brick and mortar stuff is you can pre-order it and then you can pay on it, kind of like layaway or whatever, and it's just
Sure.
like, you know,
Instead of having to pay all at once.
yeah. And I think this will probably be the last opportunity I'll have to bring Nora to a launch, like a console
yeah.
launch. You know what I mean? Like this is
That's kinda
probably
fun.
it. So that's kind of my
They
plan
usually have
with
some
that.
little goodies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the launch of Super Mario Wonder. I took her to that, and they were dressed up in like costumes and stuff or whatever. So like
Oh yeah.
that's the dad part of me talking or whatever. But you know, I think she'll enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But I think, yeah, like we didn't talk about this, but Nintendo did a really good job with their scalping thing, like anti-scalping measures that they're going through, where you can go through the official Nintendo website, and if you have, like Justin was saying, the online account, you've played more than 50 hours in the last year.
Yeah, they have a few like different.
Yeah, there's
I'm out.
four
I don't
different
qualify.
Yeah, Tim, you're fucked. But like, yeah, there's like a few different things.
I mean, I could do that in a
Kinda,
week
yeah,
if I really wanted to, but do I want to? Then I gotta play my Switch for 50
I think
hours the next week.
I think it's degrees of preference they stated.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you'll be more likely to get the invite to buy it based on all of these things.
Yeah, and so I appreciate what they're doing. They can't do anything about like how Best Buy and GameStop and all those places sell and do their pre-orders and stuff like that, but they're doing it right through their official website. I can appreciate that. So
Yeah, I
so
like that.
now, not to get too into it. Some of you know I worked at a GameStop. I used to just say
Yeah.
video game store because I still worked there. But
yeah,
the rumor is they are closing a lot more stores by the end of this year. And I don't
Yeah.
mean the end of their fiscal year. I mean the end of this year. They're going to
yeah,
be closing.
2025, yeah.
Yeah, like they closed over 900 stores last year. They've already closed hundreds of stores this year, and they are trying to close a lot more, and they're investing more and more and more in Bitcoin. So they're getting out of brick and mortar retail and really leaning into the fact that they are a meme at this point. So Cody, I hope to God that the GameStop that you pre-order it is still there. Otherwise, they'll transfer you to the nearest GameStop. And beyond that, what's the nearest one after that?
Yeah, there's like still like 4 GameStops in my area.
Pretty good odds then.
Yeah. So I'm not horribly worried about that. But we did like our GameStop in our mall that we had. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. The one next to the Best Buy that I go to, that thing has been dying for like a year. Like I'm waiting for that thing to kick the fucking bucket. The one I'm thinking of is outside of a Walmart, and that thing's still kicking pretty good. Like it still looks like it gets a lot of foot traffic. You know, it still looks nice.
That has
All the
nothing to
shelves
do
are
with it.
stocked. Like
That has nothing. It depends on their lease. My store, when I was
Oh.
there, was one of the few profitable stores in our district, and I don't know what happened after I left, whether it stayed that way or not.
Right.
Also, it had the history of being. It was the original Funko Land. My store was the OG Funko Land. It's closed now. It's dead. They killed
What's
it.
Funko Land?
You don't remember Funko Land? So the Burning Tree Plaza GameStop, when it was a video game store before that, it was a Funko Land. Funko Land was a Minnesota-based video game retailer. Yeah, and the original Funko Land was the Eden Prairie one. So that was my store when I was
cool.
at GameStop. And now it's dead. So that's a little
Anyways.
sadness there.
Yeah. But yeah, so $449 for the Switch. And here's the confusing part, and which is also the bad part. For some reason, Mario Kart World is $80. But the new Donkey Kong game, that looks great, by the way. We didn't really talk about that. It looks really
Yes,
good.
it does look really good.
It does.
It's getting the Mario Galaxy, or not, what was the Mario?
Yeah,
Is it Mario Galaxy?
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's getting the Mario Odyssey treatment. Looks great. That's $70. And then I saw a price chart that I shared in the chat a minute ago in the article chat. They released some more prices, and they're all over the fucking place. Kirby's $80, the new Kirby game. Street Fighter
Kirby.
6.
That's not the new one. That's the old one with the DLC.
Okay, old one with the DLC is $80. Street Fighter 6 is $60. Bravely Default's $40. Breath of the Wild $70. Donkey Kong that we just talked about is Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. Mario Kart World is $80. Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is with the new DLC, is $80. The new Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm assuming has the Switch 2 upgrade, is $80. Like it's just all over the fucking place.
Absolutely no sense at all to any of this pricing. It's very obtuse. Like, how do they come to these numbers?
I think what it seems like to me is if it was a last gen title and you're buying the Switch 2 version, the Switch 2 version on its own will still be $70, and whether or not that means there will be a free upgrade path, who knows. But if it's a new gen Switch title, it sounds like it's $80.
So,
for the most
I think
part,
you're getting confused because Tears of the Kingdom is a Switch 1 game.
Yeah,
and with
said
the
70.
upgrade, it's $80. Tears of the Kingdom is $80. So it has. I'm assuming.
So
the
it's $70 plus the upgrade path.
Yeah, I think it has the upgrade path built into that price already because it was originally $70 on launch, I believe.
So
or 60. It might have been 60.
No, it was 70.
I remember.
It was one of the first $70 games because I remember being like kind of pissed about it. That was while I was at GameStop. Fucking. Anyway, so third party games, it sounds like their prices are not changing, but Switch games are then for the most part, like actual first party.
Maybe like I said, you have Breath of the Wild is $70. Actually, I think that's $10 up from because that
60.
Was
that was 60. Yeah, so that's $60 plus the upgrade.
Yeah. So now that I'm looking at this,
So it sounds like upgrades will
right.
be $10.
It's looking like that.
Yeah.
If that's accurate, that makes me happy because I was worried they were going to do the $20 bullshit.
Well, it just makes me wonder, like if they're just tacking $10 on everything now. It's, you know what I mean? Like if it's a Switch 2 game, it's $80.
Is this what we're going to do every console generation moving forward? For the rest of all time, every time there's a new console generation, here's another $10. And then any time there's a new GTA, you know what, just slap $30 extra on top of that because GTA.
Yeah, dude, like
what the hell?
Well, and this is why I put in the chat earlier about like, is the hobby becoming too expensive? Because I feel like we're getting to like kind of like an untenable point when it comes to like these massive AAA games, right? Where the cost is so bloated that they're now trying to pass on some of the cost of the consumer, but at some point the consumer is not going to be willing to pay the price. At some point, that we might not be there yet, but I think $80 is kind of the beginning of that for a lot of people, and where now your AA and your indie games are going to become people's main form of like video game buying. Yeah. And then on top of this, also this just. As much as I have been a hater on Microsoft since they've gone basically third party, all this did was make fucking Game Pass look great.
Yeah, even at an elevated price. Yeah.
Yeah, like even if Game Pass were to go up to $25 now, if the base price of all games goes up to $80, like you're still like
that's like
long term
Game Pass, right?
Right, like you're still saving money in the long run, and if Game Pass continues to be robust, you know what I mean, like most of the games on there right now I would say are fairly average to above average, nothing like super fantastic or anything like that. But if like let's say Fable comes out and it's actually the hit that everybody wants it to be, that'll really or not even that, you got Expedition 33 coming out, Claire Obscure at the end of April. Like if that's a big banger, like it hits like Metaphor did, then you know what I mean, like that will really make people like want the price of that. So I don't know, like there's a lot of implications with that $80 price tag, I feel like.
So when you're saying there's not a lot of games that are, what do you mean? Are you just talking about games that are coming out right now on Game Pass?
Well, I don't think there's a lot of A+ games like that have come out on Game Pass, like day one Game Pass games.
I mean, Lies of P is up there. But like, yeah, I think that's the exception, not the rule. Like, there's a lot, but there's also, they've got your back catalog of all your Bethesda games. You got Minecraft, you got your fucking Balatros on there now. But like, yeah, a lot of these day one ones have been kind of rough.
Yeah, my wife is playing House Flipper right now, on
Yeah.
the TV. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my wife and my kid get more out of Game Pass than I do at this point.
I think Logan is probably the reason why we will never unsubscribe to Game Pass, because I own
Same.
most of the games that I would play on Game Pass already. Like,
Right.
fucking, it's not like I don't own every fucking Bethesda title and id Software game. Like, I
Right.
already do. Like, that's not
Yeah.
a brag. I have a problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't own Minecraft. I think I own the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft. I don't own Minecraft on a modern piece of hardware. I looked at his playtime in Minecraft and I'm kind of scared. It's on my Xbox account.
Is it like Emily's time in fucking The Sims?
It's damn near my time in Arma and Warframe. He's approaching 1,000 hours. Now that's since it's 6 years. He's 9. Yeah. He's been playing it since he was 3. So it's not. That doesn't include his time on the Switch though. That's just That's just on the PC and on the Xbox.
Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know. I just to get back to the Nintendo thing. Like $80, I do think is the beginning of that conversation. It's not the end all be all.
It's big. It's a big man.
But I do think Kazan is actually a good example of this. Kazan is $50 base price, and they had a $20 bump if you wanted to play it 3 days early. I did that because I was kind of I wasn't overly excited, but I was like, I am basically paying a normal price a game. But we've seen Starfield, right? Like $100 for a week of early access and DLC and blah blah blah. Honestly, I'm more okay with that because then it's a choice on whether or not you want to fork over that money, rather than it's just the base standard for every fucking game. Like every game in that AAA quote unquote tier kind of thing. Like I don't want to pay $100 for Elder Scrolls 6. Like I would fucking hate that.
If it includes all future DLC and early access, maybe.
But this is the problem. They're not going to include that.
We don't know.
Like GTA 6 is probably going to be $100. Like it's the rumor, and with Nintendo kind of softballing this $80, because as of right now, the only brand new game that's $80 is this Mario Kart World.
I think what GTA is moving you towards is
softballing that.
Maybe, but I think what GTA is moving you towards is a non-standardized pricing tier. Like I think what you're going to start to see as time goes on is at one point in our lives, a new game was just $50, and then a new game was just $60, and it didn't matter if that new game came from Xbox, if that new game came from Activision, wherever the fuck it came from. That was just what it cost, right? I think we're getting to a point where you're going to start to see more and more developers setting their own price. Like, okay, our game, it's going to be $70, but if you want to pay more, here's an option. Or, hey, this is a 400-hour fucking game with a live service baked in. It's full priced. And by full priced, I mean more than full priced. Here's $100. GTA 6 comes with the online expansion, all that, right? Like, I think you're gonna start to see more of that as time goes on. But you also, like you were saying, you're gonna start to see more of that AA and indie keep staying lower, because look at the games over the past few years that have become cultural phenomenons outside of Elden Ring. Okay, Elden Ring is like
Balatro.
Balatro costs what, $12? Fucking Pal World, $20. Like a lot of these games that are blowing up, Repo is like $10. A lot of these games that become these huge smash hits. Now there's also multiplayer components to a lot of them. Like a lot of them are your kind of copy paste, like Lethal Company. What's the news one we were playing? Headliners. This like where they're co-op little short event, horror games that you are meant to have a good time with, but not play forever. But it's a lot of these games that blow up are not full priced because they're not full priced. Hey, I don't want to pay $70 for a new fucking game. I don't want to play the new Assassin's Creed when it looks like the exact same gameplay as the last 3 Assassin's Creed. Like, that's $70. All right, whatever. I'm gonna buy. I'm just throwing an example out there, not Assassin, but like Call of Duty, whatever it is, right? I don't know. I think you're gonna start to see more of that.
I think you have a rosy picture of the future, and do not take into consideration how capitalism can just, and the greed of that is going to probably take over. I really believe that, like, if GTA releases at $100, it's going to pave the way for all the other major publishers to try and do the same, and they're going to try. But a brand new Bethesda game is going to be $100. A brand new Call of Duty, if you're not getting on Game Pass, is going to be $100. Like, that's what it's going to break down the barriers for that kind of stuff. Where right now it seems like insane or whatever. But I was listening to podcasts and stuff all day today, mostly kind of funny, and like they weren't trying to water carry for these new prices, but they were basically just like, hey, this is the new fucking gaming ecosystem, and it's probably not going to get better. It's probably going to get worse, kind of thing. It fucking sucks, but if you want to be in the hobby, this is what it is, kind of thing. The worst part about this is like a lot of it is related to some, not a lot of it, I'll say some of the gaming prices, like games in general, is related to the stuff that's going on in America right now. But even once that's over, whenever that's over, those prices will not come back down, because this is not how it works. Once they upmark stuff or whatever, they never bring it back down because of whatever forces were making them upmark to begin with. So I'm very skeptical. I'm preparing to play a lot more AA games outside of the few AAA games that I'll buy, like a Pokemon, right? Like I'll buy a Pokemon game. I call it a AAA or whatever, but like that's probably one that's going to be $80-$90. You know what I mean? And that'll be like the one or two games that I'm willing to spend that money on in a year. You know, and the rest of it's going to be like, I bought a game just earlier today called Dot Age, and it's this nifty little fucking city builder or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. Or we could also see Nintendo come out with the fucking, what we were joking about earlier, their first party subscription service. You know what I mean? Like it could just become subscription services across the board that everybody would rather pay than paying the base sticker price, right? And then they'll probably have incentives for you. Like there's still a couple ways this could go, but I just don't think any of it is cheaper for the consumer in the long run.
I hate to. I wish I had my camera or my phone so I could take a camera of what I'm seeing right now, just so you guys know.
A ghost?
I turned my volume down a smidge.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. And OBS went from like being kind of frozen, but clearly still working, and just saying not responding to. Now it's like white screen. The top says not responding.
Possessed.
I can still see everything, and the stream is still going, so it's fine.
Oh
yeah,
goodness.
But it's not fine. You can see my face. How much? You do see how lit up I am right now?
Yeah.
The white screen of death.
Justin, hold on. Justin, out of curiosity, me and Tim said our piece on the future pricing of video games or whatever.
I would like to say what
what you got, man?
Yeah.
So one thing that I think is worth considering is for a long time there's just been like a pricing bubble where the price of games stayed lower than we thought it would for a long time. And so part of me feels like, you know, that's just pricing catching up.
Yeah.
And that's like, you look at inflation and like comparative pricing for games back then and now, and it's like, well, we're really not paying that much more now. It's just like the value of the dollar has changed. But at the same time, we're living in this world where everything is getting more expensive. So I do think that a lot of people will find themselves spending less money on video games going forward. And that's definitely a bummer to think about. But I could also see what Tim's saying being a thing. Like, is this what we're seeing with the Nintendo right here? Mario Kart's $80, Donkey Kong is $70. Are they just going to have different prices for their different first-party titles? Is it going to reflect how much money they spent on development?
Right.
What is determining these prices?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of questions that we have. Probably more questions now than we had before the Switch 2 Direct.
Right.
I think a lot of
I really
it's
hope that we see some answers come soon.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it, like you're saying with Nintendo, it's going to come down to what do we think we can get away with charging. So kind of to Cody's point, but
Yeah.
at the same time, do they think, hey, if we were to charge $80 for a new Donkey Kong, it's going to sell gangbusters? Maybe not, because Donkey Kong is popular, but it's not Mario and it's not Pokemon. It's not their like
Right.
their top tier.
It's a first party character for them, but it's not. He's not. Actually, I feel like this is the first like real like Donkey Kong game in the Switch era. Like I think they've released a couple like smaller projects, but like this is like
yeah.
Like
this is like, hey, this is a fucking Donkey Kong game.
Donkey Kong
bitches,
Country
like,
Returns is the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
This one is like so different, so new. It's the new Donkey Kong design, which is growing on me. It looks like the entire world is destructible, which is wild.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was having a good
great.
time watching that. Yeah. I'm not a Donkey Kong fan personally, so when I first saw him show up, I was like, all right, it's Donkey Kong, it's whatever. And then he started like punching through the earth and shit or whatever,
Yeah,
and just like picking up chunks of rock and yeeting them in this totally destructible environment. I was like, is this Battlefield? Like, what
That's
the
some real
fuck?
video
Like,
game ass shit. Like,
Yeah.
give me destroying things in my video game. That's why
Yeah.
I play video games,
Yeah.
to break stuff around me.
But like,
Yeah.
does Nintendo say, yeah, we probably can't get away with charging $80 on that one without there being a problem, but we can get away with doing it on Mario Kart because Mario Kart's going to sell 67 million copies, period. Like, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
I
or
also
same with
wonder if maybe
GTA.
it's a case where they are going to have free updates that roll out, because we've seen that with a lot of Nintendo games like Splatoon. The game comes out, you get a bunch of free updates, and then you hit a point where they do DLC. I would love to see that be the case with Mario Kart, where they do a bunch of free updates and then maybe free DLC because the game
Right,
is more
to
expensive
justify.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
justify they do. Speaking of
It would be
Splatoon,
nice, but yeah.
speaking of Splatoon, how was there not some kind of Splatoon announcement alongside the mouse functionality?
It seems
the
like such
Switch.
a no-brainer, dude.
Right?
does.
like you know, we talked about, we mentioned earlier, I forget what it was, about things that just print money that are just right there that these companies don't do all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we see some Splatoon news. I'm not a Splatoon fan, but it just makes so much sense.
I have a
Yeah,
sealed
absolutely.
copy of which one came out when I was at GameStop? Splatoon 2?
Two, yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been two.
Sealed.
I have a sealed
yeah.
copy of. I have never opened it. I got it.
It's so disappointing.
Nintendo sent one
Cool
to
games.
every store manager in GameStop. Got one at no cost. Like, we were just our reps just were like, hey, this is
What
for
the
you.
fuck?
Yeah, so I just have it. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of the PlayStation games that I own digitally. They just gave me codes for. I think I gave Ian for I gave him a code for God of War Ragnarok when it came out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, because I had already bought the game, I pre-ordered it. So then they're like, "Hey, here's a code." I was like, "Well, fuck me, I already." All right, well, because I already paid off my pre-order, I wasn't going to shift it to something else because I was like, "Yeah, I want the physical game." So I think I gave Ian the code for that. So
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Any other thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2? I mean, there's more to come. They have the Treehouse stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got.
What fucking time is that shit at, actually, now that I think about
I'm
it?
not sure, because they're streaming tomorrow and the next day, I believe.
yeah,
So
something like
we'll
that.
see.
Did you-
I've got two things on the Switch though.
What's up?
Thing number one, the cartridges are red. Love
Yes.
that. Love that.
Yeah.
Thing number two, it's really strange that they're having this welcome to your game where like
Oh
you
my
play
God.
it to learn all the shit about the console,
and you have to
Yeah,
buy it.
but it's gonna be you're gonna have to buy it. That seems
Bro.
kind of fucked up. They haven't said how much it's gonna be, but just the fact that you have to pay for it feels pretty
yeah.
stupid. When like Astro's Playroom, that was
forgot
like
about
a
that.
free thing on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say that is a fucking huge miss for them. I read something today, you know, with all the information coming, that Reggie, I know you guys are familiar, but for anybody who isn't, used to be
the body.
Yeah, he used to be in charge of Nintendo America. He's the one who convinced Nintendo to put Wii Sports for free and bundled with the Wii, right? Because it was there to show off the Wii's features and stuff like that. Because
Fucking big brain, dude.
100%. They needed somebody like him in the room for this, because they don't even they just have to look across the way in their own country and be like, look what they did, what Sony did with Astrobot when the PS5 released. It was a free thing, and then they turned it into a full thing, and it won Game of the Year. But like,
was
this
1-2
is a
Switch
no-
free?
What?
I believe 1-2 Switch. I think it
No,
was.
that was a paid
No.
title. I bought that.
What? Did you?
Yeah.
I don't think I
I
did.
just realized it's kind of like the same.
Yeah.
thing.
Kind of, but
All
this
the
looks like
mechanics of the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
this looks like ass. Honestly,
Yeah,
like this
this
does
doesn't
not
look
look
fun.
good.
Yeah.
This looks
Yeah.
like a video game manual for the
They
console.
literally called it a tech demo. Like they called it a tech demo. Why the
Here's
fuck am I
here's a
paying
tech
money for a
demo that
tech
you got to pay
demo?
for. Here's
I
a
don't care.
demo.
It could
Give
be
me money.
$1. Like this is stupid. Like
Doesn't look good.
I'm going to watch some YouTuber buy it, and then I'm gonna watch the breakdown on it. That's what I'm gonna do, and I think most people are gonna do that. Like it's just
Yeah, because the gameplay they showed was just walking around on like a big expanded version of the console and
Yeah.
just like interacting with text boxes. Like,
yeah, you're
fuck?
basically walking through a fucking blueprint of the Switch 2. That's what you're doing.
yeah. Stupid.
Like I don't know. They could have gamified
What?
that more.
Okay.
Like I don't know. It's
what?
dumb.
This is sorry. Side note. What was the name of the exec that was like, "Oh, come down here. I'm in the game." Do you remember? I don't remember.
Are you
his
talking
name.
about the guy with the little hands?
Yes. Yeah. At first, I was like, he's got tiny hands, and then I was like,
Dude,
wait a minute,
yes.
he's just wearing a way oversized jacket. His jacket was like 4 sizes too big,
Big.
and it made his
That's very
hands
funny.
look so little. I put it,
Yeah.
Cody, in my stream of consciousness that I typed this morning. I go, why the fuck does this guy have such tiny
Tiny
hands?
I thought the same thing in that same moment. Like, I saw it too. Like, what the fuck?
So it wasn't just me. Okay.
No.
Because I saw that and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why are his hands so little? And I know I've seen him before, but like I don't remember his name. He's one of the guys that's always on stage at these directs, and like, yeah, his jacket was just way too
Who
fucking
is?
big.
I thought all three of them were kind of like new faces.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought he looked familiar, but maybe I'm profiling. I don't know.
God damn, Tim.
What?
Oh, there's some other thing I wanted to mention. What was it? Oh yeah. Do you guys think that so they're gonna have new buttons on the Pro controller now?
Mhm.
Do you think we'll actually be able to program our buttons
I do not.
for every title, or is it gonna still just be a title by title basis?
I think it'll be title by title basis because Nintendo in general does not give that kind of freedom, right? I
Wouldn't-
appreciate the paddles. I do not expect to be able to set them to what I want to set them to. You know what I mean? Like,
I did see the Virtual Console. You appear to be able to remap all of your controls, which is great,
I think
but
you're gonna
we
have to
did
with
not
that.
see that for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just look, they did a lot of good stuff today. Like just the presentation on its own was like a 9.5 for me. It was the
Yeah.
pricing.
It was really
It was
good.
the pricing afterwards that really kind of brought down my hype. It was like we're talking about it in the chat, and then I
know.
saw the $80 thing, and I immediately went hype killed. Like
Yeah,
just
dude.
god damn it, man. Like I understand that that's coming at some point, but fuck. Like,
Yeah.
does it have to be now?
Yeah,
Like,
why
does
from
it have to be-
Nintendo? Why
Right,
from
like,
Nintendo?
I want my Pokemon to stay the
Fuck.
cheapest price possible because they put the cheapest amount of assets in it. So fucking.
I actually,
God damn
you
it.
say why is it Nintendo? I can tell you why it's Nintendo. The other two
We know-
can't.
we know.
The other two couldn't get away with it right now. If Xbox was like, yeah, first party games are not going to be $80. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You can't even sell your consoles. Like, what are you talking about? You gotta like nobody's. And then Sony, if Sony did it with all of their bad will they've garnered over the last 2 years with all their bullshit, yeah, they people would be pitchforks at the door for Sony. But Nintendo does it, and Nintendo's like, well, okay, that's fair. Pokemon can cost $80. I'll be fine with it. Like it's just like that's the thing is they can lead the way on that. They have the
Yeah.
goodwill built up, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Imagine if Ubisoft was the one that did it. You talking about
Oh my God,
pitchforks?
Quadruple A game.
Oh
Bro,
my
every-
god!
Oh my god. People would have bought that game on Steam just to put a review and then immediately refunded it. You know what I mean?
Yves,
Like, just-
Yves Guillermo's,
Exactly.
they're French, right? The family that owns
I
Ubisoft.
believe so.
Yeah, it would be the French Revolution all over again. All of a sudden, there's guillotines in the street. What the hell's going on? 20,000 Ubisoft employees. Okay, sorry.
We didn't talk about that, and we don't need to get into.
We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that.
Ubisoft is
I just
crazy.
just had the thought of what if they had announced an $80 game?
Yeah.
That would have gone
Um,
very poorly for everyone.
Another thing that struck me about the Direct is they had the dude from God, what is it? Is it Hazelight that does the co-op games?
Yeah, Joseph Farah.
They had him on there. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. It was weird hearing him not swear.
I was about to say, yeah. It was pre-recorded so that they could edit it properly.
Yeah. Dude,
You
yeah,
know
smart.
what I mean?
Also,
that guy.
I think he probably was on somewhat good behavior.
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know, but
they said, sir, just please don't swear. So okay.
I,
Please understand.
he was like, all right, I'm not winning Game of the Year again right now, so I won't swear.
I guess
Yeah.
Which
they're-
they might win this year. Split
Yeah.
Fiction or whatever is
I hear it's really good.
Gangbusters. Yeah. So
All right. What about you guys? Any final thoughts on the Switch 2 events of the day?
sounds like Switch owners are going to have a lot more games to play. Well, Switch 2 owners will have a lot more games to play over the next year or so here. So I'm just excited to see that. I didn't think I was going to be even remotely interested in Switch 2, and then I watched the Direct today and I went, oh, okay, fuck.
yeah. It looked really good. Yeah, my closing thought for the whole thing would be they knocked that presentation out of the fucking park, and that thing was moving the whole time, and it was just like boom, 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 and everything was like yes, yes, yes. I like that. That's kind of weird, but that's fine. Yes, yeah, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't like a dull moment and all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
And I don't know, man. Like it convinced me that I should get one. Like I was kind of on the fence, leaning towards getting one, right? Because I like to play my Pokemon and stuff like that. But this was definitely like, yeah, I need to get this. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be a good console to own, kind of thing. It's probably be the best one out of the three, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, dude.
If you're just talking about Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, like,
Dude, I was literally thinking about like, should I just like trade in my PS5 and get some like credit towards the Switch 2?
right? Look, if they
Not a
come
bad
out with
idea.
college football, if they come out with college football on the Switch,
I mean,
might do
Madden's
it.
coming, so like I don't see why they wouldn't.
Like I don't see why they wouldn't, but it hasn't been announced yet. But honestly, like I literally play the PlayStation for college football. That's it. That's all I play on that fucking thing.
I'm trying to think what's the probably before I bought Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation or on PC. I don't.
Well, yeah, I can't unless Ghost of Yote is day one PC, which it might
That's
be,
true.
But,
That's a good point.
but
Yeah.
Ghost of Yote wouldn't make me keep.
That's a
on
good
with
reason
that.
to hold on to it.
Yeah.
But like
Ghost of Tsushima
that's
is my favorite game ever. So
my PlayStation though is like, man, it gets less use than any console in my house. My PS2 gets more run than my PS5.
Bro.
that's because you're
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah. Nostalgia is strong. All right,
like
that's what that is.
I spent all this time getting everything set up so that I could remote into any of my machines. The only things that I ever remote into to play games on are my PC and my Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't
You
play
just
my
love
Xbox.
tinkering, Tim.
My wife and my kids play my Xbox. I literally it's basically PC or Nintendo right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool.
All right, 2-hour podcast.
Yep.
We
I
knew
think
that was
got
gonna
it all
happen.
in there.
Yeah, I mean it's a Nintendo release. It's not like we do this super often. So
Yeah.
Nighty boys. Anything else?
But yeah, closing thoughts. I think we all have some anime thoughts we wanted to share.
Oh my God, yes. Who wants to go first?
Tim.
All right. So these guys know, and anybody who's been a regular watcher of OLIP knows, I am not an anime guy. Tried a few times to get into certain animes. Like, what was the one came out last year with like Greek gods and shit? I forget what it was. Or like 2 years ago. I forget. I watched like
Gods.
Yeah.
That was on. Are you talking about the one that was on Netflix?
yeah.
Yeah,
I tried to watch that
didn't-
shit.
I don't remember the name of it, but it wasn't very good. So
Yeah,
I'm not
it was a
surprised you
Netflix
didn't finish it.
anime.
Yeah,
I tried to
Yeah.
watch that. Like, what I've found is unless I watched it when I was younger, which there's quite a few animes I watched when I was younger, like Inuyasha or fucking What? Why can't I think of it?
DBZ, Cowboy Bebop.
DBZ, Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop. I was trying to think of Cowboy Bebop. Like, unless it was on fucking
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim, I didn't really watch anime as a kid. So, or that's a lie, because I used to watch like transforming robots, but anime.
Macross?
Yes, thank you. I used to watch that shit. Like, we would go to get
Yeah.
VHS tapes of it when I was really little. Like, I would watch that, or like,
Oh man.
like that. My love of mecha comes from I used to watch Gundam like all the time, like Gundam tapes. Like, we'd go get tapes of Gundam movies from Netflix, and we'd watch that shit at home. Like that was a big thing for me. But now I try and watch most animes, and I go, nah. Like, I don't try often. I try every once in a while on Cody's recommendation. He's like, you should watch this one. Hey, try. I watch like an episode or two, and I go, this shit ain't for me. And then I tell him that, and he goes, no, you have to watch X amount of episodes, and then it gets good. I go, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to do that.
There's literally a 3-episode rule, and I don't care what you say, because people say you have to watch the entire first season of The Office before it gets good. So you can fuck off. With
Completely, I completely disagree.
Have.
The Office was good on day one for me. I completely disagree with that. Any hoozles, we're gonna move past that. But Berserk is one that I've always wanted to watch. Like, going back to, like, I've watched an episode here and there, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. But when I found out that Dark Souls was so heavily inspired by Berserk, and now Elden Ring that's carried through, and now playing Kazan, playing the first Berserker Kazan, even though it has nothing to do with it other than the name Berserker in it, right? But playing it, there's I definitely think I'm gonna give that a shot. So, like, yeah, but the only thing is, where the hell do I watch it? Because I don't have any subscriptions.
Oh, we'll figure that out for you.
Yeah,
We'll
okay,
help
we
you
can. But
navigate
honestly,
this.
I hate to do this. I hate to do this. The animes for Berserk aren't super great, from what I've heard.
Yeah, we'll
You
find
should
out.
probably read the manga. You should probably read the manga.
No, do not read the manga. Do not read the manga.
The manga, from what I've heard,
I'm getting
is way
very,
better than the
very
shows.
conflicting information right
Dude.
now.
I had, knowing very little about Berserk, I started to read the manga, and I was like three chapters in, and I was like, this guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
The worst person ever
Yes.
to exist, and I'm going to quit reading this now.
Yeah.
So I quit reading it.
I heard Berserk 2016 is just not very good. Like, the animation isn't very good. Or
Dude, there's-
whatever.
Oh,
But,
sure.
but like, Berserk
it's
goes
like
back a long ways, like, as far as the anime goes. Like, it's 2016, yeah, that's a thing, but like, there's older versions.
Yeah,
of
there
it.
is older. There is, I mean, like, He-Man versions. Yeah, like, that's if we're talking
There's
about older,
newer
like that.
than that too. There's like mid 2000s shit too.
I've heard
that the anime is a really good starting point for anyone who's getting into it.
yeah, because he is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
dude.
so to get
Yeah.
through the manga is a
I'm
slog.
aware Guts is an asshole. Like, I have watched enough of it to know, oh, this guy's kind of a dickbag. But like, what I've seen, the action sequences, the fights are always like, oh, that's really fucking cool. But I just never really, like, I was never like, I'm gonna watch more of it. So I'm just, because I am a big From Software nerd.
Look, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
get you, because hopefully this can be
Yeah.
your gateway drug.
Did I show
Yeah,
you
this
guys
gets you to watch
the
a couple
graphic
different
novel
ones.
for the Dark Souls graphic novel? Giraffic. God damn it, I made the joke. Oh!
Did you just say?
So, all right. Now I gotta. Fuck! I accidentally said the thing. You ever? Never mind. All right. So, you know how the creator of GIFs pronounce it GIFs?
Yeah.
So ever since I found that out, I like to say giraffics, because the first part of a GIF is a graphics. Yeah, so I at work all the time, I fuck around and I go like, hey, give me that giraffics card over there. I need to test something. They go, what? I'm like, the giraffics card. Because there's a couple of people.
Such a dad.
There's a couple of
You're
people
the
in my
worst to
shop.
work with.
Listen, there's a couple of people in my shop that say GIF, and I'm like, as long as you call it GIF, that's a giraffics card. Give me the giraffics card. So I do that, and now I accidentally did it.
That
Never-
just, I feel
That's so
like
incredible.
Anyway, I got a
I
Dark
feel like
Souls
the
giraffics
Velociraptor's
novel on my
gonna
bedside table.
Is gonna fucking walk out of the screen
Yes,
here.
yes, that is part of the joke.
Giraffics Park.
Dude,
Ay, ay, ay.
sometimes I make a joke one fucking time, and then I can't stop. I won't.
Yeah, we know.
It's like
Timberland.
I accidentally pronounced lacrima in Kazan, lacrimina, one fucking time.
Yeah,
And I heard myself and I went, that's funny. And now I can't not say it. Every time I'm like, my lacrimina. I'm like, I know it's not that.
Bro.
I say it on the stream all the time. I'm like, I know it's not that, but I said it once and now it won't die. Giraffics.
Constantly overpowered by your subconscious desire to say the joke.
The ADHD wins again.
I love that, Tim. I'm really happy. Thank you for the story. Actually, I'm really happy about that too. But I'm really happy that you may have found an anime to really get its hooks in you.
Yeah, sink your teeth into.
Cody, what about you?
I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon, which has been like on the list, right? It was that show that was like in the back of my head. I was like, oh, I need to watch this, and then I'd like forget the name of it. I'd be like, oh, what's that show I need to watch?
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally like got myself together and I fucking started watching it the other day. Fucking A-tier anime. I'm only like 7 episodes in, but yeah, man, like if you like a show like Food Wars, but also enjoy D&D, this show is for you. It's very funny. The characters are all very well done. I've been very impressed by it. Like it's not even like the animation is like the animation's good, but it's not like movie levels of animation, you know, like top tier type thing. What's up?
Show about
It's really good.
The show about killing monsters
style
and
is
cooking them. All the
killer.
characters are really well done.
Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Fucking Tim. God damn it!
You said it, all right.
The characters have not been cooked yet. I don't know if that happens. Justin's watched it, but no, the animation is good. It's like it has its own distinct art style. But I'm just like, you know, there's like movie level animation or whatever where the budget's really huge, and you know what I mean. And then you have it's at the upper tier of your normal like 24 episode, because I think it is 24 episodes, ain't it? Something like that.
Can't remember.
I know it's more than 12. So
yeah, it's
a decent.
So good.
Decent
I'm glad
show.
you're watching it. I really enjoyed. Me and Andrew watched all of it, and apparently the manga's been like quite popular in Japan for ages. And now with the anime, it has blown up everywhere. It is a huge fandom, and it absolutely deserves all the love it gets.
Yeah.
Are you watching English or Japanese voice?
So I am watching on non-reputable websites. So I have English, but I have to have the subtitles on still because for when they make the dishes, you know what I mean? It won't give me the subtitles otherwise.
Right.
Kind of thing. Because Crunchyroll is a bunch of pieces of shit. So fuck them.
Yeah. I really love the English voice cast.
Yeah, it's very good.
Two little fun facts. The dwarf, Senshi, is that his name?
Yeah, Senshi, that's right.
He's played by ProZD from YouTube, Sungwon. He's incredible. Love him. He's done a lot of he's a voice actor by trade. Did you watch Pluto? That was another Netflix.
No, I do need to go because isn't that based off Astrobot kind of thing?
It's almost like,
a
I don't know if it's a precursor or
Astrobot.
it's
it's
There's
very
an
dark,
Astrobot
though, from what I
anime?
heard.
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
But the other cool thing is the girl Marcille. Is that the elf girl?
Yeah. It's Marcelia or Marcilla or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. She's voiced by the actress who plays Nami in the live action One Piece movie.
Oh, okay.
And I really like the English.
She's super fucking funny, honestly.
She's killer delivery.
Yeah, dude, she does very good job. Like she was what was carrying me through the beginning, and now it's what's his name, like Laos or something, or Laos or something like that.
Oh yeah,
the warrior. He's such a dumb motherfucker, and I love it.
He's just so obsessed with eating everything.
Oh my god, yeah. He's like how I always wanted to taste living armor. It's like what?
Fucking guy. Yeah. It's just a joy. Very fun.
How they turn everything into eating too. You know what I mean? It all comes back to fucking eating some random shit, and I'm just like, all right, man. Like I'm here for it. Like this is good, and the food looks good too. So I'm here for it. So beautiful. I just watched the Kraken episode. I think I still have to finish all of it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Jesus.
after they killed the Kraken and stuff like that. Such a
Yeah.
cool way that they did that too. Like,
Dude,
I was like,
very
oh,
creative.
yeah.
The combat's very interesting. It's not
Yeah.
just hit him with a sword or whatever.
right. Well, and then what they did with the Kelpie, the horse or whatever.
Oh yeah, bro.
oh, yeah.
There's like a mini arc in the fight itself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Jesus.
I was just like, oh shit, like that's why I appreciate the show. There's character building consistently throughout the show. It's fucking funny. The animation's good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Studio Trigger, I believe,
yeah,
did the animation.
yeah. Trigger basically doesn't go wrong. Like you watch
So
the Trigger
good.
anime, it'll at least look fucking good, even if it doesn't make sense. Like what was
Yeah.
that? What was that movie they came out with? Paramore, something like that.
Oh,
It was
I'm not
it was
sure.
like
I didn't see
2020. It looked great, but the story was meh. But it looked It was like Gurren Lagann all over again. You know what I mean? So, anyways, what you got, Justin?
I am excited because the new Mobile Suit Gundam is going to begin airing next week, I want to say.
Mhm.
And it's being animated by Sunrise,
Okay.
legendary studio of Cowboy Bebop fame. And it's fucking weird looking, man. The designs for this are so fucking weird. The characters look like Pokemon characters. I think they actually got a
What?
designer from Pokemon to design the characters. It looks nuts, man. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam Quacks, is how it's pronounced.
What?
But it's spelled GQUUUUUX.
My excitement level went from
Check
here to here. You can see I was
This
like,
is- this
new
is-
Gundam? And then you're like, looks like Pokemon. I go,
This is-
huh?
no.
And then you're like,
This is
it's
not-
called Quacks. I go, huh?
This is a
I'm here for it.
Gundam for someone other than Tim. Tim, go watch Iron Blood Orphans. That's your
Yeah,
Gundam.
yeah,
You'll
that
love
is your
that.
Gundam. Yeah, that is your Gundam.
Gundam Quacks, probably not for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Iron
Yeah.
Blood Orphans is fucked
Reminds
up.
me of like there's
Yeah, it
there's
is.
there's certain like Gundam games where they do like the little cutesy like SD Gundam like they're
Oh,
like
shit.
little that's what that sounded like when you're like, oh yeah, they look like Pokemon. I go, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
I want
Bro.
more Armored Core in my Gundam. Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Dude, Tim,
Give me an
there,
AC
man.
anime.
You'd love 08th MS Team. You'd love Iron Blood Orphans. Maybe
I think I've-
Seed even.
I've seen.
Did
I've
you
watched
ever watch
Seed. I've
Code
watched Seed.
Geass?
I don't remember if I watched Code Geass. But I
You
watched
should watch Code Geass.
I watched Seed. I watched Wing Zero.
Dude, 30th anniversary of Wing. Crazy.
Yeah,
What a
Wing,
world.
Wing,
30th?
Wing was
Mhm.
sick. We're old.
Shit, dude.
We're old as
My
fuck.
chest.
Yeah, yeah. I got chest
Heart
pains. My
attack
arm
incoming.
hurts.
Yeah.
Do you smell
What's
toast? I
that?
don't.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Is the stream running?
Break up, Sonny. What's a stream?
Yeah.
There's a creek out behind the house.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've said all we need to
Gundam
say.
Quacks. Yeah. You need to send me a link to that.
I will.
I need.
I'll hook you
Yeah.
up.
I think I'll
Okay.
pass on the link to that one. But I'll watch the other
No,
ones.
I'll send you the other links.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it for us tonight.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out. It was a long one, but we made it. We even talked about everything we wanted to talk about. Incredible.
And they got me to talk about watching anime.
Yeah.
Could be the beginning of a beautiful new relationship.
Oh.
Well, if video games are getting this expensive, maybe I do need a new hobby.
Oh shit.
Mm.
All right.
All right.
That's it for us. This has been Our Life in Pixels. I'm Justin.
I'm Cody.
We doing that? I'm Tim. Okay. This is when do we do this? This isn't how we end the.
Because we don't ever talk on here anymore, so we should probably reintroduce ourselves at the end of the episode, of course.
Why would we? Yeah, we should have done that at the beginning in the what
We
you've been
should've.
playing section. Whoops.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
In the
end my
Kazan
stream.
section.
Do you see
Yeah,
what's
I see
going
it,
on in
I
my?
see it.
I don't know how to
You're
end
gonna
this.
Just unplug your Ethernet.
Boop, shut down the PC here.
uh,
Oh,
right.
jeez. All right.
love you all. Have a good night. Till next
Yep.
time. Play more video games.
Bye. I can't even play the outro.